In breaking news, China has just hit the United States with an additional retaliatory tariff of 84%. That is going against all U.S. goods that are imported from the United States into China. Now, U.S. imports for total imports for all of China only make up 8.6% of all imports that China imports, but still, that's a pretty sizable figure from a single country that will apply additional prices and costs onto the Chinese people. Also, if you are curious, the amount of goods that the United States imports from China, of all of the goods that are exported out of China, the United States represents about 14 to 15% of all Chinese exports. The trade war continues and financial markets continue to collapse.
104% tariffs on China. Ref, do something, man. Just to paint the picture here, if the product is $100 coming from China, it's going to be $204. And that's on everything coming from China. Go look for this sticker. You'll quickly notice it's everywhere. Hold up, this just popped into my mind. Did nobody tell Elon that his biggest factory is in China? He knows that, right? It's also been funny to watch how Apple's reacted to this. They're just flying in planes and planes and planes of iPhones. Dude, 104%, that's more than double the price. And even if they don't pass on that whole 104% to the consumers, even if it's 50%, that's $150 instead of 100.
So if you know Chinese people, you know that their shade and their humor is legendary. They take no prisoners, they say exactly what they want to say, and they just don't hold back, and it's fantastic. Today was a fascinating day because the US imposed a 104% tariff on China. We'll see how that goes, by the way. I was going to work today with a couple of colleagues, and we went to Starbucks. My Chinese colleagues go up, and they buy their coffee, and then they let me go, and they're like, oh, no. He's American. Charge him double. Oh, it was amazing. And the jokes throughout the day were just unrelenting. We're going to have a fun journey with this. So stay tuned for all the shade that I'm going to get as an American living in China.
So in a couple hours, we're imposing those 104% tariffs on China. And listen, I've obviously been out of the game for a little bit. I haven't been posting, but I have a couple things to say. I haven't been posting, but I've been reading. And I've been reading the comments, I've been reading the rhetoric, and I've been reading the room. And obviously there are a fuck ton of people that understand why this is a big issue. Because frankly, almost everything that we buy in America is made in China. They're one of our top trading partners. And the one thing I hear people saying over and over again, which I understand why they're saying it, because they just don't understand the way things work. And that's okay. We weren't taught this in school. But let's give them a little bit of a schooling. Just buy made in America. Buy things made in America. And the sad part is that they don't understand, they don't know that manufacturing in America is very slim. There's very few things that are 100% manufactured in America, because when things are made in America and that little label that says made in America, it can still be used, it could be parts from other countries. So even vehicles that are made in America, it's using parts that are made in other countries, and then they get shipped to America. And then they assemble it here, and they're like, it was made here. But was it? Not really, because anything that comes from China now will have a 104% tariff, meaning that the price for you is going to go up by 104%. Now, of course, there are so many other countries that we're putting tariffs on, but those countries are more likely to fold. And that's what Donald Trump has said this whole time, that he wants that to happen. He's putting these high tariffs on so that other countries will fold and we will get better trading deals. But China does not have a history of negotiation. And listen, will they? Maybe, I don't know. But I understand why people are upset. Because in this economy, we can't afford for another thing to go up. And at 12 a.m., it's about to. And I've also been hearing people say, that may well be true, but we should bring manufacturing back to America. And yeah, in theory, that would be nice, right? To have a lot of stuff manufactured here, give us more jobs, blah, blah, blah. There is a reason why manufacturers left America in the first place, because it is far too expensive to manufacture shit here. Forget about prices going up 104%. They would be much more. They would be much, much, much more if they were manufactured here. Also, even if we were to do that, that would take a very long time to do. And I don't know about you guys, but my wallet does not have a very long time till it's empty. So yeah, it's about to be 2008 up in this bitch. I don't know what to say anymore.
starting tonight, when you wake up in the morning, and if you're going to go buy or wanting to buy a pair of shoes, based on tomorrow morning's tariffs, they're going to be about $1,500 a pair. I'm watching this tariff up and tariff down, and all these countries want to come together, and everyone wants to come work with Donald Trump, and China says, fuck you, we ain't negotiating. It's like insanity. And if you don't find time to laugh about this shit, I tell you, you'll absolutely go insane. The water's gonna go up, food's gonna go up, gas is gonna go up, cars are gonna go up, shoes are gonna go up, clothes are gonna go up. I mean, honestly, maybe none of us might be able to afford it, and we'll all just walk around naked. Anyway, at the end of the day, there will be a new norm, and we will all figure this out. So just don't make yourself crazy. Don't drive yourself insane. Just, reel the shit back in. Get back into the present moment. Nothing today has changed than what it was yesterday. And tomorrow, when tomorrow comes, it's going to be the same shit as today. So you got a roof over your head. You got food in your belly. Your kids are safe. Everyone's good. We're all happy. We're all safe. And you got your health. That's the most important thing. The most important thing is that you are 6 feet above the ground. Sending so much love to you and your families. Trust and believe your president. Believe me when I tell you, Donald Trump, he knows exactly what he's doing. He's got this. Midnight, I am out. 1, 2, 3. Woo!
Trump just announced that he's going to put a 104% tariff on China at midnight because they missed the deadline to renege on their 34% tariffs, I believe. 104% is a weird number, by the way. So everything from your electronics to your plates, your clothes, your toys, textiles, everything will go up. Probably double or triple. As I look around my house, pretty much 85 to 90% of the stuff I have is made in China. Go figure. So my question is, where does this stop? We already at 104% tariff. Is China going to be like, all right, well, guess we got to fold it. They don't. They don't have no presidential campaigns. They don't have no elections. They can literally just wait this out. They can do this for 4 years. So for 4 years, we could be paying double and triple prices until the next person get in office, if the next person gets in office. We're losing. We're going to make it seem like we winning this trade war. We're not. We're losing. We might not feel it right now, but if this shit keep going on for the whole term, our pockets go feel it. Like it was already feeling it before, but 104% on 80% of the stuff we use on a daily or we buy monthly. All right.
White House has confirmed that yes, starting tonight, the United States will be imposing a 104% tariff on some Chinese goods. This information came during a White House briefing from the White House press secretary, Caroline Leavitt. This briefing, by the way, was a lot about tariffs. As for those who don't know, the tariffs across the board all start tomorrow, Wednesday. All countries were hit with a baseline tariff of 10%, something in which looks like all these tariffs in a way are negotiable, and this is just like the starting out rate. According to Caroline, at least 70 different countries have came forward to the United States to say, hey, look, let's negotiate, let's go ahead and change this in a way. It was asked whether or not China's president reached out to Donald Trump, and she said here that right now Donald Trump believes that China wants to make a deal and that it was a mistake for China to do other kind of tariffs against the United States, which is why they're putting that 104% tariff against them. But then added that if China does reach out, Trump will be incredibly gracious, but will work in America's interests. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section below. Please share my videos and follow me for more.
China and the US appear to be locked in a death spiral, where tomorrow China will be hit with a 104% tariff after it missed Trump's deadline to remove its 34% tariff that it placed on the US in response to the 54% tariff that it placed on them. With China reacting to this by accusing the US of blackmail and saying it will fight to the end. And then Trump reacting to that by saying China also wants to make a deal badly, but they don't know how to get it started. We are waiting for their call. It will happen. And China's retaliation to Trump's retaliation has not been revealed, but there are reports that China could ban American movies from releasing in the country. Also, other measures they're considering is suspending cooperation on fentanyl, increasing tariffs on U.S. agriculture, banning the import of poultry, imposing curbs on U.S. services with China, and investigating the intellectual property rights of U.S. companies. With the intellectual property rights threat being seen as the nuclear option, and now China joins Europe in that threat. Right in that, because the U.S. relies on strong global protection of its intellectual property rights, because the U.S. makes a lot of high-end goods that rely on the protection like iPhones, Windows software, graphics cards, and even properties like Star Wars and Marvel. So if China is no longer willing to enforce that, American brands will soon find their goods to be worth nothing. And so you have China and the US now playing economic chicken to see who blinks first. And this is, you had Besant saying that China made a grave mistake by retaliating, with us seeing some finance commentators saying that Besant is going to try to break the yuan like he broke the British pound with his mentor George Soros. Though others are really skeptical of this theory, saying that this reading comes from a total misreading of the Chinese economy. But for now, follow to stay in the loop.